Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Robert Roberson, the regular insurance agent. Okay. Today I'm going to be talking to you about final expenses. Now, in the insurance world right now, we have IULs, which are very, very, very popular right now. Final expense kind of seems to be maybe second. Mortgage protection is probably there as well. But for most agents, the best way to get started is through final expense. So I just want to talk about kind of the basics of final expense right now. Okay, so number one, it covers end of life expenses. So funeral and burial costs. So let's talk a little bit about that. So funeral costs anywhere from 12,000 to 15,000. Depending on different things you want, flowers, caskets, different things like that. So it can be very expensive. So most of our clientele are older. Um, Budgets are a little bit smaller, so we have to kind of structure everything according to how much they can afford. So cremation seems to be more of a popular way to go. Most of my clients and people I talk to, that's what their wishes are. Cremation going on the side of anywhere 25, 2025, 3,000 area. Again, that can easily be up to 5,000 depending on the urn and different things you may want for the services. So the funeral and burial cost is one thing. So then you're dealing with medical and other expenses. Okay. So you may want to add more on your face amount. More people or most people, if they're on the lower end, as far as what can they can afford financially, they may go 2,000 for cremation, 3,000 to help pay offset any other existing bills or anything that may be left behind. So everybody kind of structures it according to what they need taken care of. So if they want an actual burial, they may say, okay, I want a $20,000 policy. 12,000 of that will go towards the services. The remaining 8,000 can either go to my family or it can go through taking care of other medical expenses or other bills or anything that may be left behind that they don't want the family to have to take care of. So that being said, the main reason most people want to take care of their final expenses are they do not want to be a burden on their family. They don't want their family to be the one to have to take care of their final expenses. Okay. I was talking to a lady the other day, um, and when I asked her the question, what is your reason for wanting to get this insurance, get this final expense insurance now? And she said, I just buried three family members within the last month and a half. And I said, wow, if there wasn't any other motivation than to have to go through those types of things, that would definitely be a motivation. And in every one of those cases, she said they did not have final expense insurance in place. They had to end up raising money, which is common. I have my own stories, behind that. But that is very common. Have the barbecues, cooking the carne asada, and all of that, and the GoFundMe's, all of those, car wash, fish fries, all of those things. So she didn't want her family to have to go through that. She has her kids, her three kids, and she wanted to make sure that this was all set in place. So she did get coverage, and I'm very happy to help her with that. So the next thing we want to deal with, final expense, affordable, easy to qualify for. Okay, you have lower monthly premiums because the face amounts are usually smaller, which I discussed previously. You're dealing with a 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 policy because, again, most people are opting for cremation because they want to make sure it fits into their budget, which we do have a lot of clients. They use Direct Express, which is Social Security, and even if they draw from their bank account, their monthly fees are very minimal, or their monthly checks that they get are very minimal, should I say. So they're on a very tight budget, and we had to adhere to that, and we have to make it fit for them. Okay. So minimal or no medical exams. Okay. This is the tricky part. Okay. This is something that I've been running into a lot lately, actually. Um, there are a lot of carriers out there that they have very minimal um, medical, you know, criteria that you have to meet. Some are a little bit more stringent. And as we go along, we'll talk about some of these in some of my other videos, which I'll be sharing that information with you. But some of the things, cancer, uh, congestive heart failure, COPD, um, diabetes, all of these different ailments and diseases, they are covered by other companies, various companies, should I say. Sorry about that. That's my wife upstairs going crazy. And again, this is the regular guy insurance agent, so you're going to get the real. My daughter will probably be coming downstairs here shortly, to grab some ice cream or something. But anyway, so we're dealing with different things like that. Um, Minimal medical exams. So those things you have to take in consideration. There's different carriers, like I said. So it's up to us as insurance professionals to find the correct one for our different clients that we deal with. Now, another one I'm dealing with right now, age limitations. Okay. The cutoff is usually 80 years old. Some go to 85. Some will go to 89. Aetna, that's one I'll throw out there to you. Aetna, they go through 80 up to 89. Um, and I believe there are a few more out there, but they tend to stop right at around 80 and up to 85. So it becomes very difficult after that. So it's very, very ideal to get your coverage before you're 80. Um, I'm actually dealing right now with another client. Her father is 88, and I'm having a difficult time finding a carrier for him. The one I mentioned previously, because of some of his ailments, it's not a guaranteed issue, which means he would get the policy guaranteed regardless of his different ailments. But once the MIB did an underwriting on him, they said because of his medications, they had to decline. So I'm in the process of trying to find some other things to make his situation work out for him. Um, One thing I will do, I do, is I want to make sure everybody gets coverage to the best of my ability, and I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to try to make that happen. Um, so age limitation is very important. Okay, so take that into consideration. Now, payouts and guaranteed payouts to your beneficiaries. Now, this is very interesting as well. As long as the premiums are paid, the monthly premiums are paid, you have no issues. Okay, um, having that check is definitely a relief to your family. Um, Again, you want to make sure that those premiums are paid because you don't want to get a lapse. Okay, most carriers they'll give you a 30-day grace period um, to keep the policy intact. But if you go past that 30 days, then you're not covered anymore, and you definitely don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that that coverage stays in place. Okay, so flexible use of funds for your beneficiary. Okay. Another one we want to kind of look at. Okay. Your beneficiaries, they aren't restricted of what they can do with that money. So they can pay medical expenses, they can pay other financial obligations that you have left over. But talking about that, You want to make sure, and I hate to put it out there like that, you want to make sure your beneficiary is something that you trust, someone who's going to take care of your final expenses. If you want a cremation, make sure that that's taken care of. If you want a regular burial, we want to make sure that's all taken care of as well. Very important, very important. I'm sure you trust your spouse, siblings, whoever it is that you put in charge to handle this for you. Okay. Again, make sure that that's squared away. That's very important. So now we want to talk about lifelong protection. Okay. Different types of insurances. Um, Final expense is whole or permanent, means it'll last the whole life, your whole life, as long as those premiums are being paid. This is not a term. Well, we're dealing with a term life insurance, which is exactly that. It only goes for a term. If it's a 10 years, after that 10 years is up, the insurance is over. Um, After 20 years, if you have a 20-year term, same thing. Okay. So, beautiful part about final expense, it is whole or permanent. Okay. And it will stay in effect, same thing, as long as those premiums are paid. Okay. So, lastly, um, we want to talk about, and I think it's one of those things that's kind of been bugging me, or that I've been kind of dealing with. I'm going to harken back, and I'm going to go right back to it again, and that's the age limitation. I think the thing that's kind of bothering me about it is when most of the people I talk to, 50s, 60s, and we as human beings, we tend to, we want to procrastinate. That's just us. That's what we do, unfortunately. So my thing to you is, please get this taken care of. I mean, it's something, what do they say? The only two things for sure in life are death and taxes. So it's coming, and it's something that we all got to deal with. But the thing I am finding is we do procrastinate and we will wait. And um, I'm seeing a better uptick in people's in their 50s, and that's not bad. That's not bad at all. But when we start heading towards the 70s, and financially, we may go through things in life. Nobody really knows what people are going through. Understandable. But this is something, especially the earlier, you take care of it, um, you can get a higher face amount. Your monthly premiums won't be as much. But again, just make sure, especially before you start reaching that 80-year-old mark, you want to make sure you get this taken care of before then. Okay. So that's going to end it for this section. Um, if any of this information added value to you, um, please be kind. Smash that subscribe button one time, help a brother out. But I will definitely be coming to you with more content. Um, Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Robert, the regular insurance agent. See you next time. Have a good one. Be good to each other. Peace.